Hi, I'm Laura Puccia Valtorta. I'm here with my son Dante.
Ciao.
And my husband Marco.
Salve.
To read our latest story, The Arborists. That's kind of difficult to say. This is season 3, episode 6 of our podcast of short stories. B is for Bisexual. I am a content creator, and my films include AI and the Family, now on the Fossum channel and on Stash YouTube, and the comedy Bermuda on Amazon Prime Video, Tubi, and Fossum. These days, I'm writing a screenplay set in Italy, in Liguria, in the town of Cavi di Lavagna, and that's way fun. Thanks, Parrucchiere Fausto, for the characters and the idea. I love going to Italy and gossiping. Today's story, The Arborists, is a shout out to gay men, and in particular to gay film directors such as Ira Sachs and Francis Lee, who create some amazing films. I think Ira Sachs's Passages was the best film of 2023. After this podcast, I'm going to give my opinion about what to do during these difficult and frightening times. But for now, The Arborists. They had very different personalities, so there was no reason for Oliver, who was loud, and Peebles, who was soft, to be present at the same screening of the Ira Sachs romantic film Passages, except that they were both queer. They both also happened to be arborists, but that had nothing to do with the film. In everyday bread and butter life, they were worlds apart. Oliver shared his Christian household with a wife and 2 small children. Peebles lived with Marge, his bossy, in-your-face mother. Peebles worked in the obnoxious flag-flying suburbs. Oliver cared for the trees in downtown Columbia, and his life had a downtown vibe. Although they had both attended the same arborist certification courses, they had hung out with different crowds. During the course, Oliver ate lunch with his meal-blessing church buddies. Peebles ate alone. Then their lives met and converged. At the screening of the film Passages, they both sat in the back row, but 10 seats apart from each other. They both studied the sex scenes carefully, but avoided laughing too loudly at the jokes. They both pruned their branches at the climax when Tomas had sex with Agathe. During the first and second screenings, waiting in line for popcorn, they recognized each other and nodded.
Hey, do you like this film?
Asked Oliver.
Yes, Franz Rogowski is the best.
You know, next week they're going to show stuff by British director Francis Lee.
Noted Oliver.
I believe it's God's Country and Ammonite.
Peebles' lips parted in anticipation. Thursday through Wednesday, caring for trees, watching the fall weather, Peebles contemplated Oliver and how his street-side Christian lifestyle contrasted with the nonchalant 2 p.m. appearance at an LGBTQ film festival in the center of town. The man had balls. But all arborists had balls. The work was daily dangerous. Donning spiked boots, climbing tall trees, walking on roofs, using chainsaws. Half of Peebles' co-workers were missing fingers and arms. The next weekend, the screening of God's Country by Francis Lee was a must-attend. Peebles told his mother he needed the day off to drink beer. He didn't say where. Drinking beer was the kind of entertainment that Marge understood. "Y'all enjoy yourself, son. Let it all hang out." Peebles planned to do just that. He wore a red plaid shirt and yellow suspenders. His best lavender baseball cap squashed down his frizzy curls. He carried plenty of cash, so as not to leave a virtual trail. Oliver was wearing a black t-shirt that highlighted his tan skin and ripped jeans. His greasy flip-flops were gross, but his toenails were well manicured. His arms were strong, muscular. Peebles admired the heft and curve of his top-heavy carved hairstyle. The two men stood with drinks and popcorn in the dark front lobby and regarded each other.
Business good?
Said Oliver.
Way good.
Said Peebles.
I pruned a pecan tree yesterday. Brought the pecans to my mother.
Your mother? Why'd she name you Peebles?
Peebles shrugged.
After Melvin and Mario.
They walked up the stairs to the large screening room at the Popcorn Palace and sat next to each other.
I always sit in the back,
said Oliver.
So's I can be alone.
As soon as the lights went out, he reached over, removed Peebles' lavender baseball cap, and kissed him. Soon their strong hands were all over each other. Peebles enjoyed Oliver touching him everywhere. For them, there was no need to wait for the rustic sex scene between the two young farmers. They were already in the Popcorn Palace restroom having sex in the stall. It was a tight squeeze with toilet paper holders and coat hooks poking them.
We need to go to my workshop,
said Oliver afterwards.
I've got a double bed.
Peebles nodded, breathless. Oliver's workshed was a corrugated metal palace containing the tree truck on one side and a small apartment on the other side. The small apartment had a double bed, a television set, a bathroom with shower, and a microwave. One window.
Wow, this is wonderful,
said Peebles, examining the boot jack and the artistic photographs of every kind of tree and some birds.
Shoes off,
commanded Oliver. They performed vigorous sex on the double bed on top of a red, gold, and yellow crazy quilt. Their toes touched.
You decorated with fall colors,
said Peebles.
My favorite. Did your wife make this quilt?
No, my grandmother.
Where is your wife anyway?
Oliver closed his eyes and smiled.
She's at the Popcorn Palace seeing Ammonite with her girlfriends. The kids are with their parents, so it's time for the grown-ups, you know. We both like to relax on the weekends.
Peebles stayed silent for several minutes, staring at a close-up photograph of a cardinal bird.
Ammonite? Isn't that another Francis Lee film?
That's right,
said Oliver.
Lesbian sex. My wife, Celadine, swings both ways, and so do I.
Peebles felt his mind and his body melt with the possibilities of it all. He existed in a large guest bedroom upstairs at his mother's house. Marge had her nose into everything. She even inspected his magazines and his computer. Living with her was a good way to save money, but no way to enjoy life. Do-do-do-do! After a few beautiful Saturdays together, Peebles said,
Why don't you leave your wife?
Oliver laughed.
No way. I love Celadine a lot. And we have two funny children together. We give each other freedom. Also, our marriage forms a barrier that gets us past the authorities and the wackos.
People considered this.
My mother is a real capitalist and a control freak. Sometimes I think she ruins my life, telling me what to do all the time, how to behave.
Are you sure about that?
Said Oliver.
I mean, she's giving you a pretty good place to live. Have you tried just being honest with her?
You mean about being gay?
No. Mothers know that automatically. I mean about being obsessed with trees instead of people. I've seen how you prune trees like they're works of art. Admire their shapes like you're gonna have sex with them.
Ha!
Peebles envisioned his mother's weed-free garden with its swimming pool lanes of strawberries, lettuce, and carrots.
Mom is in love with plants too, and trees.
So you're a lot alike.
Peebles' eyes opened wide, but he admitted nothing.
I'd love to meet your mother.
Said Oliver.
Take me to your house.
Do-do-do-do. The next weekend, They met at Peebles and Marge Jackson's house on the pretext of pruning the pecan tree. "What are you two doing here?" said Marge, meeting the men in the side yard. "That tree doesn't need pruning,"
It might.
said Oliver.
See how those branches are touching that garage roof?
"Leave my tree alone," said Marge, "and watch your big feet. There's pecans all over the ground. You're crunching them." She went into the garage to retrieve 3 bushel baskets and handed one each to Oliver and Peebles. "Start gathering pecans." Marge took a basket herself and began shoveling up pecans with both hands. "Come on." Oliver found himself gathering pecans like a harvesting machine. Marge's commands were difficult to resist. Marge looked a lot like Peebles, dark skin, frizzy hair, but she was louder and harsher. Peebles, Oliver, and Marge combed the yard for pecans. After about 30 minutes, Marge stood up. "Time to make a pie. You boys can come inside if you like." Marge's house was large and old-fashioned, with the bedrooms on the second floor and easy chairs in the living room. When Oliver used the bathroom, he discovered pink tiles and a white clawfoot tub. The only modern thing about this house was the new wall unit air conditioners. After examining the living room and the TV room, he wandered back into the kitchen, where Peebles was picking the shells out of pecans and the pecans out of the shells, and Marge was rolling a pie crust.
Does this place have a basement?
"No," snapped Marge.
What about a guest bedroom over the garage?
Been meaning to build one of those," said Marge.
Peebles and I should build you an entire apartment up there,
said Oliver.
so Peebles here can enjoy some privacy.
Marge pressed the crust dough into the pie pan and glared at Oliver, arms akimbo. "You're mighty pushy with your projects," she said, "and this ain't even your house. What if I don't want a guest apartment?"
I think Peebles here might like it.
Oliver headed for the door, and Peebles followed. Back in the kitchen, in the presence of his mother, Peebles had contributed nothing to the conversation, but in the garage he was demanding.
"I want red marble countertops and a 2-person shower."
I can arrange that,
said Oliver. He pulled Peebles toward him and kissed him on the lips. "Do-do-do-do!" The pecan pie turned out to be delicious. They ate slices of it with Marge and discussed plans for Peebles' apartment over the garage. "Who's going to pay for all this?" said Marge. Peebles raised his hand.
"I've got plenty of money saved up. Why not use it for home improvements?"
Marge raised her eyebrows. "I guess this house is in both of our names. When Bobbert comes to visit, she could use your old bedroom."
"Fine with me,"
said Peebles.
"because I'll have a whole big apartment with closet and kitchen."
Who's Bobbert?
said Oliver.
"Auntie Bobbert,"
said Peebles.
"she's Mother's special friend."
"Bobbert's into taxidermy," Marge explained. "Birds and squirrels." She pointed to a stuffed bobolink on top of the refrigerator.
Oh, so gross,
said Oliver, shuddering. Peebles and Marge. "Bobbert is pretty disgusting," said Marge. "But we understand each other. We went to school together. Both wanted to become forest rangers. Would have been good at it, too." Marge looked down at the table, sad. She reached out her arms to the 2 guys, and they formed a handheld circle of understanding. The end. Do-do-do-do. Dear listener, if you see something happening that should be seen and heard by everyone, film it, write about it, talk about it, spread the word. We are all watching these videos on places like YouTube. Unless you are in danger, don't compromise your values. We know that everyone deserves freedom. Everyone deserves respect. And we all need to stand up for that, especially for women and the LGBTQ community. So, dear listener, until next time, ciao.
Ciao a tutti.
Arrivederci.
Goodbye, dear listener.